right, welcome back, everybody, for another bit of Members First content. This is my Wednesday watch list where I'm looking ahead to this week's new release books, some of the incentives and things like that are selling for a bit of a premium already, some stuff that I'm just looking forward to grabbing, some books that have some buzz around them, cool covers that I can't wait to go and pick up for my collection, things like that. These are just the books that I'm keeping my eye on for this week for New Comic Book Day, August 23rd, 2023. Now, if you've noticed, I am not wearing a hat. And why am I not wearing a hat? It's so I could show you guys that despite your votes on the tax show, which all of you wanted me to stick with the tribal top knot, I just couldn't do it anymore, guys. I was sick of it. I was tired of it. I couldn't deal with the long hair anymore. So I had to cut it. I thought about doing it myself and just going with the Randy Orton buzz cut. But ultimately, I went to Sports Clips, asked the girl what she suggested, and here we go. I got more of a heel cut here with this comb over kind of thing. I guess it's because I'm an adult now. I'm a big boy. So here we go. Big boy haircut. No more top knot. That said, I got a bunch of stuff to go through for you this week. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss any of the alerts of the new shows dropping basically every day here on the channel. Not to mention the little short videos of all the cover runs that I like to share, set to some, pretty awesome music. Make sure you got the alert set so you get notified of all the things dropping here on Rennavision. And if you want to see what books I'm keeping my eye out on this week, all you got to do is hang on for a few seconds after the intro, and I'll be right back with the Wednesday watch list. Okay, so to start us off, we are going to start with the Buzz books. These are the books that I got a little bit of heat, a little bit of buzz around them. To be honest, there wasn't a lot that I could think of that I'm hearing a lot of chatter about with this week's book. So what I decided to go with was something that I feel like was a while ago, The Immortal Thor. I'm kind of curious of where we're going to go with this. Al Ewing decided to pitch this idea when he was taking over Thor, to call it The Immortal Thor, to kind of mirror or kind of present this idea of a change or some sort of status quo change like Immortal Hulk did for the Hulk, but now with Thor. I mean, that's the kind of idea that I've gotten from some of the interviews and articles that he's spoken about with coming up with the Immortal Thor. I mean, so Al Ewing's run is going to start here. Alex Ross going to be doing the regular covers just like the Immortal Hulk, I think, for at least for a little while. I'm interested. So I think there's a little bit of buzz around this book, just for reading's sake, to see where we're going to go. And there are plenty of covers if you're interested. You have the cover A, the Ross. Pretty solid. We've got there's a Francis Manipool's got a variant in there. There's a Hidden Gems, George Perez. There's a what do you call it? One of those gods covers, which I don't know. I just did a short for those this past Friday. All these weird, I don't know. This story also might be tying in with this Marvel of, I don't know if it's an event or what, but this story with these new gods. We'll see where this is going. But we got another gods cover here as well. And we do have a foil cover. If you want to go and pay a few extra dollars for a foil cover, you got that. You got a 1 in 25, which is pretty cool. And you got a 1 in 100, which is a virgin version of that George Perez Hidden Gems cover. Plenty, right? Plenty. That 1 in 100 is kind of interesting. As of right now, it's got some unbalanced pre-sales, I should say, considering one pre-sold for $63 and then another sold for $350. I don't know. But asking prices right now, 100 to about 250. It's pretty steep, if you ask me. I'm pretty sure there's probably store exclusives for this, so there's going to be a few extras of these 1 in 100s floating around up for sale. It's solid George Perez, but it's not the greatest. It's what like they've been doing recently. These are like old sketches, I think. These aren't even like old covers or anything that's completed. This is like, no, I don't want to say incomplete art, but you know what I mean? It's not finished. It's not a planned cover, so it still has a little bit of rough around the edges. Some empty space they filled with lightning in the background. I mean, okay, it's fine, but I don't know if I really need to go and be doing double ratio for this book. But it's something worth keeping an eye on. So as we roll forward, I'm going to see what happens with this book to see if it maintains its price or drops. The 1 in 25 is not doing anything, and I kind of like that cover, but it's not doing anything above ratio right now. So Like I said, we'll see what plays out come Wednesday. And I ignored it until the end, but there was also another one of these Ms. Minutes covers. I think it's the Peach Momoko one too, for what that's worth. And you got the lightning crackling inner eye reflection. It's fine, but to me, these are still not great. I'm just not interested in these Ms. Minutes covers. But I've covered it. I'm not going to get into it. I didn't do a not great section just to put more of these in there. I just kind of threw it here. So with that, let's look at the stuff I am looking forward to as far as reading. So my reading list for this week, things that I'm going to put to the top of my pile when I grab my books this Wednesday. This is the stuff I can't wait to, get a little bit more of the story on. I am biased. Joe Mad is one of my favorites. I always like Battle Chasers. I like that kind of fantasy stuff. I know Marco made fun of me when I made him read this for the tax show, the first issue back, what was it, 10? But issue 12 here, it's kind of wrapping up this little addition storyline here. And yeah, plenty of covers. This is probably my least favorite of the covers. That said, I am getting all of them. I told you, I'm a collector. I have a little bit of a obsessive compulsive disorder, I guess, with certain things. And I like Joe Mad. I'm getting every one of these covers. None of them are incentives, thankfully. Thankfully, none incentives. But they did release, I think, 6. So we have this is the cover A. And then we got a couple of really good ones here as well. We got John Boy has a cover. I think that's the C. Joe Mad's doing that B cover there with the bright blue. And then we got an Art Germ. It's pretty solid as well. I think people are going to like that one, that one too. And then we got another 3. So actually it's 7, right? Yeah, because I got another 3 for you as we roll through with some of these other covers. I just like it. I like them. I think with the last one there is a Derek Chu, but I'm getting them all anyway. I just pre-ordered them all. Yeah, I can't wait to read this, just to kind of wrap up this arc, I guess. And we'll see where we go from here. With that, I've also enjoyed the new run on Black Panther. That's kind of taking it to the streets kind of angle. Kind of curious where they're going from here. So Black Panther 3 will also be on the top of my pile right there with Battle Chasers. A few covers on this one. This is the cover A. There is also a pretty cool B variant, and then there's a Stormbreaker one, and then there is also a 1 in 25, which it's okay, but there are options. The 1 in 25 is not doing anything above ratio, so I'm not pricing that one out for you. Just letting you know it is out there if you're interested. This is actually going to be a hefty reading list for me this week because there are a few things I'm looking forward to. I mean, that's 2 already. Usually I got 1 or 2 books, but this week I think I got 4, maybe even 5. I think it's just 4. But we're going to go on to the X side of things because, as you know, watching the channel, I'm an X fan. I'm an X-Men fan. I'm an X-Men apologist a lot of times. I just, it is what it is. We're getting a new revamp, reboot to the whole line. So I'm curious with the start of all of these new series, including another run at Jean Grey. So Jean Grey, Volume 2, she made it out of the Fall of X. Let's see where we go from here. This is the cover A. Pretty solid. I like it. A couple other covers coming with this one as well. We are getting, sorry, I kind of jumped the gun there with the button, but a Derek Chu has a B cover, and then there's a Hidden Gems, George Perez. I told you, they're really throwing all these Perez covers out there. So we got these A, Bs, and Cs, and then we do have incentives, which are just going to be virgin versions of these extra covers. So you're getting a 1 in 50 out of that Derek Chu, and you're getting a 1 in 100 virgin version out of the George Perez one. Check the prices right now. They're just kind of right around ratio, maybe a bit lower. Even the 1 in 100 George Perez, it's like 60 to 80. And again, I do the ratio start price and then just kind of go from there. And so I'm not sharing the pricing, just giving you that kind of heads up that that's where they're at. The 1 in 50, I think, is in that kind of 40 to 50 range too. So right around ratio, but not above it. So we'll see what happens come Wednesday. So I'm still going to take a look. That's why they're here. I'm just not giving you any pre-sale prices because there's nothing really to report just yet. And just like the Thor, this one does have this. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't update it. But it does have a Ms. Minutes cover. I'm sorry. I'm not going to bother going back and updating it. But there is a Ms. Minutes cover here for this one as well, if you want it. Actually, I'm a liar. I did go back and update it. So here you go. This is the right cover. This is the Jean Grey Ms. Minutes cover. I wasn't going to, but I figured, you know what? You guys deserve it. So I'll give you the cover. There it is. If you want it, go ahead and go get it. But me, I still consider these not great, so I'm not buying them. But I'm still sharing with you guys because I know it's not all about me. Yes, this is my watch list, but I know there's other books other people might be looking into. So I want to kind of spread that around and give you a little bit of a talking point there as well. This, not for me, but if you want it, go get it. Jean Grey. That said, another X book. We are getting The Realm of X. Okay. I don't know exactly what we're going here. I don't know where all these new series are supposed to be focusing in on. I didn't go and kind of prep read because I don't like things being spoiled. So I just kind of go in blind, read it, see what it's about. I mean, I can guess it looks like we're going to be following magic and maybe go into limbo, that kind of stuff. Sure, fine. I'm into it. But magic front and center, Realm of X #1. There is a B cover here as well. Got Marrow on the cover there. It looks like Danny Moonstar might be in this series as well. And then there's a pretty cool 1 in 25 by Chris Bacalo. So I do kind of like this. I don't know. I liked his run on, I don't know if it was on Uncanny. I think it was on Uncanny, or was it on regular X-Men? I think it was on Uncanny, but he had a pretty solid run as the artist on the X-Men before. So I kind of into this. So I wouldn't mind getting this. But there is also a 1 in 100 incentive on this book as well, which, of course, kind of negates the trade dress. I like the trade dress, though, so I'm not going to go chasing 1 in 100. If I find the 1 in 25 for cheap enough, I might grab it. But right now, the 1 in 25 is just right around that ratio price. But the 1 in 100 is at a little bit of a premium with some sales above ratio at about 115, 125 so far. And I found one listed at this time at 125. So again, it's not a ton over ratio, but it is a little bit over ratio, and we'll see where it goes, come Wednesday. Because right now, as I said, only got a couple of sales this past week, and then one listing right now. So we'll see what comes as the week goes on. I had to film this early. As you guys know, I was taking a vacation. So I'm filming this a little early. I'm actually recording this on Friday, the week ahead. So some things might change. Some of these prices, some things might spike between now and Monday when I share this with everyone. But I had to do it early because, like I said, I'm going away, or I am away. Kind of bend your mind a little bit there. But this is what I've got as of Friday, 8/18. Only the one listing. So we'll see what happens as the week goes on and what happens on Wednesday. With that, so I do have a fifth book, non-X book. This one is hit and miss for me. This is a title I come back to every once in a while once I hear something that's kind of intriguing, and that title is Venom. Not the biggest Venom fan, but sometimes, you got me interested. And right now, Doctor Doom, all right, call me intrigued. Crossover with Doctor Doom. I like this cover, so I'm into this. I'm going to check this out and put this on the read pile for this week because I just wanted to see what Venom's going to do with Doctor Doom. I don't know. Like I said, I'm curious. So with that, we've got this cover A, which is probably the one I'm going to grab, but there are other options as well. We got another one of those Gods covers if you're into it. We got a Stormbreakers if you're into that, and then one of these, the other homages. There's like a dozen of these stupid the other homages, and this would have been in the not great section. But again, I didn't do a not great section, but I'm still going to tell you that it's not great. To me, I actually don't like any of these. I don't like these at all, these variants. They just don't do it for me. But I do like that cover A. And I do kind of like the 1 in 25, which we have here. Doom, Venom, mashup. Granted, I mean, he is overly muscular there. Would you see even with the symbiote's not covering him, but hey, it's still kind of cool. Still kind of a cool image. This 1 in 25, and it's actually moving for a little bit above ratio. Not a ton, but above. One sold for 25. This, what was that? Back in July, but the recent sale on August 12th, which was only last week, pre-sale of $45. So $45 for 1 in 25 ain't bad. And when you look at some of the listings right now, yes, there's the occasional $25 right at ratio listing, but a lot of those are either from the UK or from Canada. So it's going to cost you a little bit extra in the US to get those shipped to you. And then there's a few of those $45 to $50 listings as well. So we'll see this one where this one also shakes out when the week wraps up. But right now, I kind of like it. And I thought about putting this in the homage section because it does give me a lot of vibes of that Secret Wars cover, but I didn't because I wasn't 100%. It's a little bit of a different angle, but it does give me that sense with the one knee down and the arms flex. So it probably is an homage, but I didn't put this in the homage section for this week, which there are plenty. We'll get there, though. First, before we get there, we do have a later print section. So as far as later prints go, we only have a few. They're there if you need them. I'll just say that. Nothing really exciting to me. And I like collecting. like later prints and second prints, but nothing in here is really getting me excited to go rush to make sure that I pre-order or grab it. Like nothing I even have to OCD buy, like Battle Chasers or Avoid Rivals or something. But if you're into Berserker and you miss Poetry of Madness #1, even though there's probably plenty of copies still out there, there is a second print if you need it. This next one's kind of cool, and I already had the Jenny Frison cover, I believe, for this, but I kind of like this Alice Never After cover here. It's pretty solid. I like the art, but if you didn't get the first print, this Dan Panosian series, go and grab this one if you're into it. The Spider-Man books, they've been giving us later printings all over the place, so maxed out conclusion, Spider-Boy, throw him on the cover, even though he's barely in the book. Issue 10 of Spider-Man gets a second print. Thankfully, they didn't give us an incentive for this. This is it. Just this cover. Fine. Good. Unfortunately, we are also getting this useless book. The Mandalorian #1. Why on earth do we need a second print of this? There are plenty of these out there. Plenty. Why do we need a second print? I don't know. Not to mention, you're giving us a second print where the color is barely changed from the original kind of orangish, burnt sienna kind of vibe, and then you're just going to make it red, and then just slap this little second print box down here above the barcode. Like, that's the only change? Seriously? Couldn't even give us new cover art for this? Ugh. Laziness. Because they didn't even really want to sell this. They don't even care about selling this. They're only worried about selling, yes, you guessed it, the 1 in 25 incentive for this book, which again is reused art, which is just the black and white version of the really awesome EM Gist cover. I like this cover. I did get this EM Gist Boba Fett cover just for the cover. I got it just for the cover because I have no interest in the adaptation of this story. I don't need it. I've already watched the show. I don't care about these comics all that much. The art in them is terrible, and it's just rehashing the story we already know. I don't need this, but we're getting them. And I'm not going and getting on this bandwagon. Well, it's first so-and-so, first so-and-so. I don't care. Personally, I don't care. It is what it is. Yes, it's an adaptation of the show. Great. But I only bought this one because of the cover. I'm not buying a 1 in 25 incentive because, one, I don't like them to begin with. Two, I already have the color version, which is better than the black and white. But if you want it, it's out there. And, yeah, couple sold. I will say that. Couple sold. $50 and almost $90. Granted, those were, well, the $90 was back in July, so really early pre-sale. And then August was that 15th for $50. All right. Above double ratio, that's what they've been doing. And that's, again, why they keep making these, because the pre-sellers are selling you on these books before FOC. They'll order up to get the money for the book, and then they have all these second prints that's just pure profit, if they can sell any of them. Ugh. Stop buying these. But as you can see, there are actually none up right now. None available. Again, this is Friday. A couple of days still left in the week. Maybe some will pop up before Wednesday hits. But as of, like I said, as of my filming on Friday, there were none up. So maybe it'll be tough, but who cares? Rarity does not equal value all the time. On its own, it's not a 1-for-1. This is a second print. It's a second print incentive on a book we didn't need in the first place. But alas, we got it. Now, what else we have is a rather large and lengthy homage section for this week. Well, as compared to the last couple of weeks. We've had some short ones. This week, there are a few. So let's get right into it and not dilly-dally, because I don't want this to be an hour-long show. I was trying to shoot for half an hour, but it looks like it'll probably be closer to 40 minutes at the rate we're going. With that, first up, I questioned if this was an homage at first, but I'm pretty sure it is. This is Detective Comics, The Night Terrors #2, and the more I look at it, yeah, it's got to be, right? Pretty cool. I love that Middleton cover from that original back roll, not original, but from that back roll run where he had that awesome run of covers. And the 23 that everybody loves, but this one, I always like this one as well, the 24, and I think it's pretty cool homage. But what's weird is that they didn't put a skeleton in here because with the Night Terrors, you figured they would have, but whatever. I think this is what this is. But if you disagree and you think it's, hey, just happenstance that they did a 50-50 split, all right. I just think the opportunity missed to give us another skull because it is Night Terrors after all. Speaking of which, Night Terrors Number 4, 1 in 25 incentive. Homage, Derek Robertson cover. Homage, took me a while to figure this out. Took me a while to go and dig because I searched everywhere on the internet. Nobody said what it was an homage of. I checked all these different listings, nothing, nothing, nothing. So I had to go and do some manual research, dig through some old back issues, flipping through all the Batman issues. For whatever reason, I forgot about Detective Comics. And once I looked at the trade dress again, it did register that it could be Detective. And then I finally found it is Detective 620 here. So, boom, there's your homage. Bat Skull in the works. Not selling for anything at this point. It's basically right around ratio, but I wanted to put it in here anyway because some of these have hit. You remember the Wolverine one? Even the Death in the Family one ain't bad. But here you go with number 4, the final issue of the mini series. But there will be like an Omega issue, kind of like finale capper coming as well. But the 4-issue series wraps up here with this last 1 in 25 homage. Now we are still getting these Disney 100 covers as well. So we're getting Edge of Spider. I mean, this is on Amazing Spider-Man. What is it, like 32 or whatever the number is? But it is an Edge of Spider-Verse 2 homage again because we haven't seen this before, but this time with the Daisy Duck, I guess. I think it's Daisy Duck, right? Doesn't matter, but there you go. If you're into it, go for it. I'm kind of over these already. I think it's just they dragged them out too long, and first few were kind of fun, but then I'm just like, I don't know. I don't need these all these Disney covers. They're okay, but yeah, like I said, I'm a little over it. But they are also giving us a 1 in 50 on this Amazing Spider-Man, which again, it's a Spider-Gwen, but it's callback to Web of Spider-Man. The Craven's Last Hunt that 32. They've done this cover before, but still pretty cool, pretty good. I think it could have used a little bit more grime and rain to kind of balance with the original one. But hey, it is what it is. Not bad, not bad. But this one is selling a little bit, so keep an eye on this 1 in 50. Well, I should say the ones that are sold are right around ratio, maybe just under, but the asking prices are starting to tick up. Yes, there are still asks around that $40 range or $42, but there are a few out there 60 to 90 as well. Once the cheaper ones kind of, fall off, all it takes is a couple sales, and if all that's left are those $90, $70 ones, that's what's going to start selling, and then all of a sudden we got a book that's selling above ratio. But it's a 1 in 50, so keep that in mind as well. But it is also Amazing Spider-Man, who also has plenty of store exclusives for every goddamn issue that they release, let alone the second prints that they plan. I think there's going to be plenty on this one. But we'll see. Another fun homage coming this week is Dr. Aphra doing a Star Wars 1. I like it. I'm probably going to pick this one up. Yes, Star Wars 1 has been done before, but I think it's pretty cool. So I'm probably going to grab this one personally for my PC. Storm, issue 4, call back to New Mutants. Getting a Liefeld callback, right? New Mutants 99, her walking away. I think it's kind of fun. I've also been getting these Storm books because, like I mentioned last week, the incentives have been kind of redundant, but they're still cool. Just storm in the sky with lightning. I get it, but I usually get them anyway. No incentive this week, though. So, as Marvel has been doing over the many, many years, a lot of these titles, they get incentives for the first, 2 or 3 issues, and then they just stop. And then they'll come back if there's like an event or a first appearance or something like that to hype it up again. But right now, looks like Storm, no more incentives. So, this is the only cover you can go for. What else we got? Oh, the Night Terrors. Oh, well, you guys already know this book. I think I double dipped in putting it in this section, but we already talked about it, so we're going to skip it. And we're going to go on to Ribbon Queen. Ribbon Queen. What is this? I don't forget what issue this is. Issue 2? I think we're only at issue 2, or is it 3? Regardless, I knew this was a cover I recognized. Like I said, it looks like a recent horror movie, and it was this Malignant cover, as you can see, 1 for 1. Not too bad, right? Even followed all. I like it when they do the whole thing with the all the dates and the trade dress. Everything matches pretty good. So, I like it. This is an obvious one because it's even in the title of Cocaine Kaiju. But yeah, we're getting a Cocaine Bear. Kind of it's a sketchbook, but I don't know. It's kind of fun. All right, so I put this in here as well. If you're into it, go ahead and grab it. There was this weird indie book, the Duchesne Smile, if I'm saying it right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're going for that Joker cover that never got released, but they can do it there. So I think that's what they're going for. I don't know. Could be interesting. I don't know anything about this series apart from there's a couple of covers, and I think places like Midtown are limiting it one. So yeah, could be hard to get. Is a smaller smaller print run for a smaller company. I don't know. I don't know if it's really going to hit. It's got a kind of a, like I said, a little bit of a this callback to the Joker cover, but also a little bit of a Department of Truth with the X'd out eyes. We'll see. We'll see if anything comes out of this. But another one, the Mighty Barbarians in a Blaze. They've continued to give us these interesting homages, so I put them in here. I'm not picking these up, but I do appreciate them doing homages to, you know, books we haven't seen before. So Illuminati #1, well done. And finally, Darkwing Duck and one of the plethora of covers, and I'm gonna have a couple more of these in here later as well, but I do kinda like this 1 in 10, uh, for the Gotham by Gaslight, the callback there. I think it's pretty good. So, yeah, not too bad, and this is a 1 in 10. I think there's also another version where this is a virgin version. It's dynamite. There's more covers than there are letters in the alphabet. Yeah, but it is what it is. Like I said, we'll come back to a couple other Darkwings because Gizmo Duck is back on the cover of a couple. But we'll get to that later because first we got to hit up the creepy covers. I pulled it back because we do have some creepy covers this week that feel like they fit the category. This might be the last week we do it. But here we go. Night Terrors, #4. Pretty awesome. Batman with, the bats flying at you. I like it. And then you got that kind of like emaciated, kind of like zombified kind of face, kind of creepy with the eyes. This one also has that blacklight kind of cover, the neon glow cover, whatever you want to call them. So I got to get this one as well. The last issue, fourth issue, the fourth one. I got the other three, including the error one, just because I like them. It's different. So got to make sure I get this one too for my collection. That said, Detective Comics Night Terrors #2 also has this pretty cool cover. I don't know, there's something about it. It's like kind of classic kind of vibe. You're getting like artsy Renaissance kind of like it's painted on the wall. You see the cracks in the background. It's a little washed out. I kind of dig it. Kind of dig it. So I don't know. I like it. This next one's pretty creepy. Here also on that detective, this is like a B cover, and you just got all those eyes and the tendrils and everything. Just and then Batman's kind of just blurred in the background there. I don't know. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it, and it's kind of creepy. So that's why it's here. Next one's not that creepy, but we'll put it here anyway. This is Jenny Frison Harley. I do like it. I like when they do the card covers where you get that flip, you know, it's like a trading, not trading card, playing card. So you got Harley up there, and then you got the skull version of her down below. I like it. Bloody, flip flop. I like it. So it fits kind of creepy, so I put it in here. But I like this cover, and I'll probably grab this one. Actually, I think I pre-ordered it already. I've been getting these Jenny Frison B covers on her Harley books. Just I like them. Up next, we have this Cyborg. This just is, I like a good throne cover. This has throne cover vibes, but it is also creepy with all the tubes coming out of his mouth. There's pieces of him missing. It's just like half of his body's there. It looks like you know, a mixture between the bad guy from RoboCop 2 who had no body. He was just like the spine mixed with like a T-800 from Terminator. I don't know. Kind of like it. Up next, we got this Angel Breaker cover. There's been some pretty cool covers on this Angel Breaker run. Newer character for DC. Surprised that she got her own little spin-off series, but this is issue 2. We'll be coming back to this one a little bit later because there's an incentive on this book that's pretty good too. But here is, I think, the B cover on it, and I like it with the skull. Pretty well done. Good art, and yeah, just like this Ice Cream Man's pretty gnarly too. Like I don't know with the spider and his face. So Ice Cream Man. This is a title I haven't looked at in a forever, but Ice Cream Man #36 coming back with this pretty good cover. I don't know. I like it. I like this one. So yeah, I might pick it up just to see what's going on in this series again, just because this cover is kind of grabbing me. Weirdly, Power Rangers. Yes. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers this week has this. Look at this. It's like just messed up kind of a zombified ring. I don't know what you want to call it, but like the Pink Ranger, all dead-eyed. This is Bjorn Barons. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. You know what I'm talking about. He's been killing it lately. And I got another one of his covers coming later. But this Pink Ranger, all creepy and zombified in the gym, is kind of interesting. So we do have this Darkest Hour. I guess there's a dark story going on here in the Power Rangers book. I don't know much about it. Don't read Power Rangers, but this cover kind of caught my eye. And there is it's not a cover price version. I think this is a 1 in 10. Sorry. Didn't update that, but there's a black and white incentive version of that creepy ass cover as well. And up next, we do have a segment that I haven't run in a while, but we're going to bring it back here.
WTF, Gary? WTF. What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh,
yes. So, what is in the WTF section? Well, stuff I just don't get. What is going on here? This thing, I know I put this creature on before. This one is it just messed me up. This weird eyeballed thing on Detective. This is Detective number 2. This is the 1 in 25. It's that weird demon bat character thing. It's still just creeping me out, man. So I don't know what's going on with it. So I put it here on a different bent of WTF. Come on, man. I know I put the first issue of Stranger Things Turtles of something we didn't need, and this is just issue 2, but really, what's Hopper doing? Crouching on the the corner of the building. Was he gonna hop off? He's not gonna do that. He's not an action hero. Come on, man. Yeah, whatever. I'm not getting this. I don't care. But I do like Stranger Things. Don't get me wrong. I do like it. I like Turtles. This is just a crossover I didn't need. I know they're selling toys based off of this too. If you go into Target, but I don't know. I don't need this. You know what else I don't need? I don't need another reprint of Amazing Spider-Man 300. I just don't. But for whatever reason, they're selling you another facsimile of it. And not only that, they want $7 for this. $7 for a facsimile reprint of ASM 300. Why? Why is this $7? That's ridiculous. Only thing more ridiculous is if they made like a foil version that cost even more. Oh, wait. Guess what? They did that too. There is a foil version of this because we need that. The first one's already $7. What do you think the foil version is going to cost you? $11.99. $11.99. They want $12 for this. This is getting out of hand, guys. This is getting out of hand. But whatever. People keep buying it. I guess they're going to keep doing it. So it's your own fault. $12 for a reprint just because it's got foil on it. Ugh. Whatever. Oh, here's something. Curious about this series. And this isn't about the title alone. Ryan Stegman giving us the schlub. Don't know much about it. I mean, just looking at the cover, you can kind of guess it might be more of a comedy book of some sort. Fine. Image. That's not why it's in the WTF section. The reason it's in that section is who the hell is ordering 200 copies of this? Because there's a 1 in 200 foil incentive of this book. Who's ordering 200 copies of this? Why do they have such high incentive ratios? All right, whatever. That said, let's just get on to the regular covers. So regular covers, Jesus, we're already 35 minutes in. I'm sorry, guys. Regular covers, first one, really into this. I fell off this series. I've heard it's good. I got to go back and pick these up. But this cover alone, I got to make sure I grab this. Firepower, this David Aja cover. It's just beautiful. I love the 3 colors, the black, white, and then the pink because with the flowers. I like this. I like it. Awesome layout. I dig it. So I'm going to try to get a hold of this issue 26. And like I said, I probably should go back and read this run because I've heard it's good. It's just one of those books. I got the first few issues and I didn't read them and I just fell behind. And then people told me it was good. And I'm like, all right, I'll get them. And then here we are. It's 26 issues in and I got like the first 4. So I got a lot of catching up to do, I guess. But this cover's awesome. Interesting cover on Deadpool this week. I like it when they mess with the trade dress. I'm a sucker for when they mess with the trade dress. Give me a different little angle. So you got a drop in Deadpool, he's shooting that back up at the bad guys there, and they're coming down, ripping the page and the trade dress. I like it. I don't know. It's different. I like it. Afra, apart from having that homage to Star Wars one, there is a Ventress cover. It's not the greatest cover. It's just a lot of dead space kind of behind her. But still, it's a Ventress cover. I like Ventress, so I'm probably gonna grab this anyway. Just gonna do it. Invincible Iron Man. I haven't been reading this, but this is a Kale New. I don't know how you say it, but pretty awesome cover there, as well as this other version, Bjorn again, I can't say his name either. You know what I'm talking about, though. This is another pretty cool cover. This almost looks like a Warhammer, kind of like a ad piece for like a hot toy or something like this. It's so like realistically detailed. But it's cool. I don't know. Just kind of like it. So there's that. Probably not gonna get these though, because I'm not reading Invincible Iron Man, but it is tying into Fall of X. So maybe I should, because Tony Stark is gonna be marrying Emma Frost. So guess I gotta get that. I don't know. X Force though got a pretty cool Raza cover. I don't know. I like it. Just again, I like Raza. Just the quality of the art there. You got you get to see Colossus all that often. Plus, you got Colossus with the beard. Pretty cool. What else do I got here for covers? Dead Romans. There's like 6, I think, or more different covers of this issue 6. I'm only going to show you these first 2 just because I like them kind of the face-off juxtaposition of I think this is the cover A and maybe the B. But I like them. But there's a few others as well that aren't bad. I'm just not going to go through the whole cover run because we could be here all day. But I did like those 2. Just I don't know. I like them. They dig them. They're pretty cool. Um Darkwing Duck, as I mentioned before, we get this kind of heroic poster. It's all beat up kind of a vibe there with Darkwing and Gizmo Duck. I like it. There's also virgin versions, black and white colored versions, incentives, yada yada yada. Dynamite, killing me, Dynamite. But I do like this cover. I just wish there weren't so many of them because can't get these. Can't get all these. It's just can't do it. You can't release even when they're good. You can't release 3 to 4 decent looking covers on a book each month. Like that's asking people to spend like $15-20 for one comic book and just get different versions of it. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. You don't need to have that many covers. You just don't need it. And then just doing all the variations of the colors. Just enough. I'm not going to keep complaining. But we do have another one too. It's like I said, there's 2. And then we got this Gizmo Duck cover, which also like this one. So you got this going for it too. And there is also a 1 in 20 of that cover. That's a virgin version, but whatever. It's not selling for a premium or anything like that yet. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Who knows? I know an earlier Gizmo Duck cover kind of did pop a tiny bit, but I don't know. I just like them, but I don't think I can get all these because it's just not cost effective. I just can't justify spending all that much on Darkwing Duck because the story, I know it's not meant for adults, but it's still, it's all right. It's okay. I mean, it is what it is. And I haven't been keeping up and reading it. Read a couple issues is all I got to go on. But I'm just saying, it's not written for me, and it's just not that engaging. So that said, let's wrap up with the incentives. Maybe we'll get this done in 45 minutes. This week's incentives, I already hit up a couple in the other segments because that's how I've been doing it lately. But the leftover incentives that just didn't kind of fit the narrative of the segments we were doing before are here. Starting off with this Tales of Suspense number 2. Feels like it's been a while since that first issue, and that first issue also had an incentive that did pretty well right out of the gate. Who knows what this 1 in 25 is going to do for issue 2, but I couldn't find any. At least none that sold. But there was one listed, and it was asking $63 for 1 in 25. So we'll see. Just something to keep an eye on. Ashley Wood, I believe, did this cover. It's pretty cool. And, if you're into that kind of horror kind of anthology, it could be a title that you want to go and check out. And then maybe grab the incentive if you're that into it. Another incentive, Marvel Unleashed. You get it? All these pets, the dogs. We got Lockjaw, you got Goose, you got Pizza Dog, we got Bats, the Ghost Dog, and it looks like we got Throg. Cool. The Pet Avengers, in a fashion, are back with this Marvel Unleashed, and there's a 1 in 25 incentive to go with it. All right. It's already doing a little bit. So 20 to 30 on those early pre-sales. Asking prices, though, people are fishing for a little bit more in that $45, $50, $60 kind of range. We'll see what happens come Wednesday, but will sales around ratio equate to higher sales at these fishing prices? Will prices come down? I don't know. This is the kind of thing I want to see what happens as the week goes on, and why I'm keeping an eye on it, because I'm probably not buying this one unless it's cheap, because I'm not that big into the Pet Avengers. It's a fun idea, but I don't really need to have every fun idea in my collection. It's just that's how I get an untenable collection of way too many books that I really need to trim down, and will next year. That's next year's plan, is to trim this collection down into something more manageable. Maybe I could show you guys more of this room, because right now all this room is comic books. It's probably a fire hazard, and it's probably pretty dangerous. I'm gonna get, if I lived in an area that had earthquakes, I could probably be buried by all of these comics and die. Well, hopefully no earthquakes in Jersey. That said, let's move on to the next bit. Moon Knight, City of the Dead has an issue too. Bill Sienkiewicz cover here. Pretty cool. I like it. The first issue introduced was a Red Scarab, the girl that was introduced in the show, made it to the comics now. I guess they're kind of continuing this story. I've not read this yet, so I don't know what they're continuing, but $40 thereabouts. Granted, that one is the 1 in 25 and the 1 in 10, but that's what the pre-sales are. A little bit above ratio, even when you factor that in. Asking prices, a little bit unbalanced. We do have under ratio at $20, and then we have $40, and we got up to $75. So who knows where this one's going to shake out. There are Sienkiewicz collectors out there, so you got to watch out for them. And it is 1 in 25 on an issue 2 of a title that's probably not being ordered that heavily. Yes, it's Moon Knight, but I don't know how popular Moon Knight is these days. So we'll see. But it's popular enough for them to decide to do a 1 in 100 cover, because this also does have a 1 in 100 Rose Besh Virgin version. There's also like a B cover of this, but it's not the best. I'm not a big fan of this one, and I don't think that a lot of people are, because this one is not even selling for ratio. So while the 1 in 25 has some asks and have some sales above that ratio mark, this 1 in 100 is not getting those numbers. It's down to like 67. Yeah, it's at a discount. So there you go. If you're into it, there it is. But we're going to move off of Marvel and go on over to DC. This is not a Night Terrors cover. This is wrapping up that Dark Knight Steel. I think it's issue 12 of 12. Yeah. Badass Batman Knight with a sword. I don't know. I just dig this. I think this is a pretty cool cover. It's not doing anything as far as aftermarket goes, but I think it's pretty cool. I might look to get one just because I like it. I like the art. So, I don't know. Figured I'd share it. Also at DC, Derek Chu has a Harley Quinn #2 for that Night Terrors book. Not too bad. She got the kind of the scythe, like a Grim Reaper style. Pre-sales on this 1 in 25 have been right around that ratio, as well as one sale at $56. So early sales were around ratio. The last sale was a little bit higher. Asking prices, well, there are still listings for around ratio, and then some at that higher $50 mark. So we'll see. I feel like this one might stick around ratio, because I think there'll be plenty. I like Derek Chu, but maybe we're getting too many covers. We might be getting some Chu fatigue with collectors, that they're not paying all those hefty increases, hefty premiums on the incentives these days like they were just a few months ago, because I think we're getting too many. Maybe it's Marvel doing the B covers, and then the Virgin versions. It's wearing people's, patience and wallets down. But hey, it is what it is. I mentioned that Angel Breaker book before. We do have the incentive there for that Angel Breaker 2. I like this cover. I dig it. I like the colors. It's partly why I put it on the thumbnail. But in addition to that, it is actually selling at a bit of a premium. A lot of sales, $50 to $60. I shouldn't say a lot. A few sales in the $50 to $60 range for this 1 in 25. And then there is one outside the ballpark $175 sale. Okay, so Just something to keep an eye on. Not going to call shenanigans, but you just be wary. Who knows? It's easy to mess around with these things, but there were none up right now. So who knows where the next one's going to go? And that's why I get a little wary when you see a price jump like that in the last sale. It feels like somebody's trying to, or the appearances could be somebody trying to set a new market for books that they're planning on selling soon. That's all I'm saying. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Again, I gotta imagine there's not a lot of these because who's ordering an Angel Breaker that heavily? So it does have that going for it. It is a nice cover, but outside of that, I don't know what the long term legs would be on something like this. It's just the art. So how much do you pay for just the cover art? There's a question you have to ask yourself before you break out your wallet. Almost done. I got a one in. Oh wait, this is the regular cover for Penguin. Penguin's getting a new series. Pretty fun little cover here with Harley putting the huge back tap there on the Penguin. I was gonna say 1 in 50 because this is the trade dress version, regular version that's out there, and then there is a Virgin 1 in 50. So there is that to look forward to, including this price $125 sale on one of these pre-orders. August 17th. So just yesterday, one of these pre-sold for $1.25. I'm sorry, 125 for this 1 in 50. And yeah, there's only a couple listings out there. One looking for 165, and then we got I think one or two at auction. So we'll have to see where those end up after next week plays out. But that's what I got for you this week. I know it was a little bit of a long one, got a little bit of a delays in here and there, and I did this a little early, showing off my new haircut. And thanks for all the support. Even though I didn't listen to your voting, I just had to get it cut. I couldn't deal with the top knot anymore. Just couldn't do it. But with that all said, thank you again for all the support. I appreciate you all. Members get to see this early. I mean, they might even get it really, really early because like I said, I'm filming this Friday. I'll drop it, soon. And everybody else still have to wait till Monday. And I'm going to keep the content coming even when I am out on break. Yeah, I still got plenty more for you. So keep coming back every day. New content here on Rennavision. All right, later.